the Vamos Morados podcast on the State of Louisville Podcast Network. I'm Zach.
And I'm Benton.
And this week we are joined by Lou City rookie, Elizabethtown native, scorer of banger goals, Jansen Wilson. How you doing this week, Jansen?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
We're doing well. Thank you so much for taking a little time to join us. Very, very excited to talk about your background, your experience with the club so far. You've had a hell of a start.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Glad to be on here.
Now, before we dive into the soccer talk, we like to kind of do a what are you into this sort of week, something that's non-soccer related. We'll start so we give you a little bit of time to think things through. Zach, I'm going to hit you up first. Zach, what have you been into?
This is probably the most normie I've ever sounded on one of these. This last week was my anniversary, so this week I was very much into my wife. We had a fun date night. We went out to Vernon Lanes, the bowling alley on Story Avenue. That I guess it's a really, really old bowling alley that they very recently completely remodeled, and it was really cool. They have they still have the original pin center machines and backdrop and everything there. So you have to keep your own score because it's a machine from the 50s from before it marked your pins for you and everything. But the food was really, really good. They had, I got chili cheese fries, which were really tasty. And my wife got a mushroom Philly cheese style sandwich. But it was a really fun night and it's a really cool place. I want to go back there next time we do something. I think it'd be really fun with a bigger group of 4 or 5 people.
Was it difficult to keep your own score?
It wasn't too bad. It did make me question my eyesight a little bit because for the most part, it entering it was really easy. They've got an iPad screen you can put it on, but there was a bunch of times where I was like, is that 2 pins in a row or is that just 1 pin? I couldn't see the back row very well. So yeah, that it was harder to actually figure out how many pins I hit than it was to keep track of it.
It's funny you bring up the scorekeeping thing. I was literally just talking about that 2 weeks ago. I don't know how bowling came up and keeping track of score, but I don't know if you guys had the same experience, but in gym class in high school, we learned how to do the bowling scoring.
Yeah, bowling scoring is weird because you have to. This is nice because all you have to do is hit how many pins you hit, and it does all the scorekeeping. You don't have to actually do it on paper.
It does the heavy lifting.
You just enter it. But yeah, actually keeping score by hand is weird and complicated on bowling because you need information from the future to actually have your score. If you hit a strike, it includes shots you haven't hit yet. So yeah, I can't do bowling score on paper.
That's funny. I've been meaning to check that place out.
Yeah, it was really cool. I recommend it. What about you, Ben? What are you into this week?
I've just been doing a lot of tinkering on the computer. I won't go into heavy detail with it, but I'm just trying to basically pushing stuff to its limits. Gonna probably break one of my damn computers. Installing crap on it. And I just like to do that. I couldn't even tell you why. We won't get into it. People did not turn in for stuff like that's uber nerdy. But
that's what
I've been doing.
Gonna install a liquid cooling system on your computer now? Is that the next thing?
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not doing any hardware. It's all operating systems and stuff like that. Again, kind of pointless tinkering. I'm just exploring for the sake of learning and seeing what I can do.
It's fun to break.
Yeah,
stuff.
the liquid cooling stuff that makes me a little nervous. My desktop here that I got after my laptop bit it.
You've already collapsed the downstairs ceiling once this year. I think a giant coolant leak from your computer would probably be a little too much.
The one silver lining of my ceiling collapsing is I got to run that Ethernet cable I'd been really wanting to do. So, all right, enough with the nerd stuff. Jansen, help bring the people's attention back. What have you been into?
I'd say 2 different things. One, me and my fiance Logan, we've gotten into Havana Rumba.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So we've been there quite often. And then also golf. We had the Lou City and Racing Foundation scramble yesterday. So always good to play.
You got a handful of teammates that are real big golfers.
Yeah, there's quite a few of us. I think there were 8 or 10 of us that played in the event yesterday.
Nice.
Very awesome. Have you done Top Golf yet?
I have.
That's fun.
We did.
That's more like my speed. Like I don't like when I play like regular golf, it's more about like drinking beers and just smacking the ball. So usually I just do Top Golf because that's just like right to the point.
Yeah, anything I can turn into a game of Angry Birds makes it a lot easier.
That is a fun mode. So all right, we're gonna start off and we're gonna talk about kind of a boring match, right?
Yeah, just standard.
Man,
Uh,
well actually, you know what? Jansen, did you kind of want to just share your overall takeaway from the Orange County match? That felt like a really big win for the team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think it's a big stepping point. Out of 24 points, we now have 21, which is massive for the club. And moving forward to get to where we want to go of winning the league and then winning the USL Cup. Um, I thought it was a really good game. There's always little tweaks that we can fix and get
Mhm.
better at. But it was a really solid performance. I think we played the game in their half, a large majority of it. We didn't give up too many chances. And I mean, it's always great to score 3 goals as well.
Now
But
oh,
also going with that, sorry,
no,
with
continue.
3 goals, we also kept a clean sheet, which is equally as important.
Yeah, Coach Cruz always tends to bring that up, the clean sheet side of things in defense. He puts a lot of emphasis there, I know. Um, heading into this match, I'm curious, oftentimes, when you ask about the opponent, it's kind of like it's presented that not much is thought of the other opponent, like overthinking it in terms of like their caliber. But what stood out to me is that, like, I mean, they're clearly one of the better teams that Louisville City is going to face, right? Like a handful of the other teams like are kind of like middling in the pack, but Orange County is near the top of the West. Was there kind of any sort of acknowledgement of the opportunity that beating a successful club brings,
Yeah,
or is that something you don't pay attention to?
we mainly focus on ourselves,
Hmm.
of how we want to play because we want to be the ones dominating the game and taking it to them. But yeah, there's always the knowledge of the other team, and to go with that, we always talk about sending a message,
Hmm.
especially at home. Like we don't want teams to leave, or we want teams to leave and they don't want to come back. And I think sending a message like that of winning 3-0 against a top team, I think it shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
they're
think that was huge, especially against Orange County, because they're one of the better defenses in the whole league this season. So I think it really shows like how strong the attack is for Louisville City this season to be able to put up 3 goals against a defense like that.
yeah. I mean, it was really like a masterclass, like you said, Jensen. You guys lived in their half. I don't recall the breakdown there, but I know the eye test certainly was that it was predominantly there. I really thought it would be a closer affair, and it was kind of from my vantage point a bit of a litmus test, right? Like one of the Charleston aside, like Orange County feels like a solid jump above some of the other opponents, and especially considering the short rest and the travel and all the stuff from Seattle. I'm like, we're gonna really see what these guys are made of when there's a little bit more adversity kind of thrown into the mix against a better team. And man, I did not expect what we got there. You could argue that we had well more than 3 goals in that one. It was wild. That was best case scenario in my mind.
Yeah,
Now,
we were happy
now
after the
we
match.
wanted to mention that we have not talked about the highlight from the match, though. You scored an absolute banger in the second half of that game. I want to hear a little bit. What did you see on that play? And like, how's it feel to score just like a worldie like that? On top of a great game from the whole team.
Um, Honestly, I couldn't really tell you what I was thinking in the moment. Um, I'd say along with a lot of other players, a lot of the games played off of instinct. Um, yeah, I don't really know what was going through my mind. I mean, after a couple of the previous shots before that, I probably shouldn't have shot it. But uh, but yeah, took the opportunity, and I'm happy that it went in. It's always great to score in front of the home fans.
You know what they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That is true.
But now this is, your second goal at home. Like that feeling, it doesn't get old, does it? Like
No,
I can't imagine, 10,000 plus people in that venue, especially the kind of match that was already going on. Like is
no,
that's gotta be memorable.
it is. It is. I mean, I think both those goals I'll remember for the rest of my life. Um, the fans and the support, the atmosphere is unbelievable, and it's definitely something that'll never get old.
That's so cool. Was your family in attendance? I figured with them
Yes,
being nearby, they're probably at most of the games.
yes, they make it to all the home games. My family, my fiance, and the in laws.
That's awesome. Now, while we're still on the goal scoring thing, I gotta ask. We asked Sam Gleadle about this, but do you guys like know where the cameras are? Do you like is that something you just note in the back of your head? So if you score, you can run and get a good picture.
Ah,
You don't be coy. It's okay if you do because I
no,
1000% would.
I'm actually not sure. I think just a normal setup. There's some behind the goal along with in the corners. So if you run in that vicinity, you'll be okay.
Okay. All right, there you go. That's about line. So you didn't go around like, oh, I don't care about the cameras. Come on, it's fine. I would.
You always love a good picture.
I know, right? You
Yeah,
guys are human too. I
we've
don't
been
blame you.
told that that Harris specifically does keep track of where the cameras are.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you score that many goals, it
He's
helps.
got lots of opportunities.
Dude,
So.
I would bet a lot of money that Ray also knows. He's very photogenic. He knows right where to go.
Yeah, he probably
He knows what
fixes the
he's doing.
eyebrows and
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. That's funny. But I mean, in terms of the match there, like I said, like that was in my mind a big test, and I could not have seen that going a lot better. And what a great rebound too after the Seattle match. Like that just like that stings no matter how you slice it. In terms of the Open Cup and going there, but it is what it is. You guys played a good match. Yeah, I don't know your thoughts on Seattle in general. I held them in very high regards. I almost view them as like the Louisville city of the MLS in terms of just being kind of a complete organization and one that
yeah, I
probably has
mean,
a lot of depth.
right, for sure. It's a it's an unfortunate result. I feel like we definitely could have won the match. We had a lot of opportunities, and we definitely could have gotten more out of it. It is, and it's also definitely unfortunate to lose in penalty kicks. So it, it definitely stings, but I think we showed our resilience by coming back and doing what we did against Orange County.
Yeah. Have you done a penalty shootout before? Or was that your first? I'm
It's been
kind
a
of curious because
long time.
it's such a big deal when it happens, but it comes up so seldom that like, it's not something most people have a lot of experience with.
Right. I don't think I've been in a penalty shootout since high school. It's been a long time.
That's all. Yeah, it is a long time. How often do you guys practice those? Like, is that one of those things you just throw in at the end of practice all the time just to kind of keep it a little fresh? Or
No, no, haven't as a team haven't practiced penalties once. It's
Yeah.
um it's something that um we're confident that we can step up and do, and some
yeah,
individuals do like to work on them, and um yeah, just go on to it.
yeah, that's fair. It's probably not really like worth a regular time commitment unless you're maybe potentially expecting it. Zach, I saw you took some notes of the numbers on this one. I didn't get to look at them in
Yeah, I
detail,
was
so
just
I'll let
gonna
you speak to
note
it.
like where the team is so far because we finally um we're far enough into the season to start to look at some of the like big picture numbers
Hmm.
and the team is looking like really good. I think uh as far as like expected goal stuff goes, the team's second behind Charleston, I think, in expected goal differential, which is sort of matches up with where the table is.
Yeah.
right
Okay.
now. So I mean, the uh, I think third in offense and third in defense, which is I mean, like right there near the top. I think you mentioned it, Jansen, but like it's a goal for the team this season to be competing and to win that regular season champion uh trophy, and they're right there. I mean, I think this is kind of right where we want to be at this point in the season.
I know
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I know when I was looking at him, it was before this match. The numbers were just insane. Like I think this and Jensen, I think your guys' squad that could be one of the real special teams if you guys continue to keep this up. I hold the 2022 team in very high regards, but man, the pacing on this one, I kind of expect, I don't expect that that we're going to have so many, 5-goal affairs in the future, but man, you guys have set yourself up for success. It's been very exciting stuff. See it all come together.
Definitely. I mean, we've had a large, I would say almost every single one of our trainings has been a great session. We've had very, very few sessions where we walked away from it like, okay, we weren't too happy about that one. And I think it speaks volumes to this group that even after, like you said, the 5-0 wins, that we're still out there training hard, working, and we know it's all about the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to play a 90-minute match. It takes 1 second for a goal to get past you, and if it's a close game, that's points
Right.
on the table.
Yeah. Well, and there's like no margin for error this season. That one thing no, I mean, you mentioned the team has 21 of 24 points so
Yes.
far, and but is still. I mean, Charleston's not going to give up a lot of points this season. I mean, you know, the team can't just rest because there are lots of other really good teams this season that, any point lost is ground lost there.
Right. I mean, we go out to every match to win, and that's the expectation that we have of ourselves, and I know that the fans and the club expect from us. So, I mean, like you said, there's no rest. We expect to win every match.
And you're doing a great job of it so far. But Zach, unless you have any other things you want to kind of touch on the Orange County match, I want to pivot this conversation a bit more specifically on Jansen, his background, his experience so far.
Yeah, I want to get to the interview. I want to get to the fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, Jansen, I'm curious. Would you mind walking us kind of through your background? I know you've made you started kind of at the Crew Academy, some collegiate experience, involvement in Bowling Green before Louisville City. Can you kind of walk us through everything
Um,
that's brought you here?
yeah. So I started out club soccer at Javanon. Started there when I was 5. Yeah, 5. Um, Went all the way up to junior year, playing there along with E-Town High School. Played there for 7th, 8th grade, along with freshman through junior year, before heading to the Crew. Was at Crew for a year, then went on to play at Kentucky for 3 years before moving on to Belmont for my last year and a half. So that's just a quick rundown of the teams I've played for. And like you said, Bowling Green over this 2 summers.
Go Cats! First off, UK guy here.
Are you?
So glad we're in a good company. Um, I mean, yeah, you have a lot of great experience there. What was the Crew Academy like? I mean, were you like did you stay up in Columbus for long stretches, or did you just have like a long ass commute? Or
No, I stayed with the host family while I was there for the year. Um, yeah, so I lived with them from June 2018 to June 2019.
damn, like I knew these academies had pretty far reaches, but I did not know like the details of kind of what goes involved. Like that's a big commitment.
Yeah, it was something. It was a hard decision for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, to move away from home, and everything I had here, that uh, to go live with honestly strangers,
Mhm.
but honestly, they're some of the best people I've ever met and still keep touch with them today. So
That's cool.
it was worth it.
That's cool.
Are you jealous of all the kids that have the Louisville City Academy now? They don't
Oh, definitely.
gotta go
Definitely. I
anywhere.
wish we had it. I think it started my freshman year of college. So once, like a year after I left.
Oh,
You're like, come on. Really? Now, of your collegiate experience, do you have any kind of memorable moments on the pitch from either UK or Belmont?
I'd say first collegiate goal. Um, Went through a difficult patch of injuries for a year, which was tough. Um, Transferring, being in the transfer portal and trying to find a new home, and then I would say my entire career at Belmont was amazing. So I'd say that there's a lot of memories in that one.
Now, do any of your teammates from either UK or Belmont or any of them in the SL championship have you gone against or will go against any of them?
I've played against, off the top of my head, one already, and there will be a couple more that we will play against.
That's cool. It's like, it's one of those things I try to remember is that I feel like in the professional like soccer ranks, it's probably such a small world. You guys are all obviously close in age, so therefore you've all probably played in sort of the similar levels as you guys went up through it. So a lot of interpersonal relationships there. Um, when I was first kind of looking into when you got announced with the club, one thing I did not find information on, but I later learned was your involvement with the Bowling Green team, the Golden Lions, I believe they are, correct?
Yes, yes.
Well, can you talk us through that experience in that league?
Um, it was a good experience. I mean, it's a team filled with good players and great people. Um, I really enjoyed my time there over the summers. And the first year we were able to make a good run into the national tournament, so that's always fun as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I knew I learned that from the Bluegrass Soccer Cast guys who I know have
Okay,
been
okay.
following them and we're I think pretty excited when you signed since you had the ties there.
so you mentioned you started playing at 5 for Geminon. So, I mean, do you even remember uh what got you into soccer? Is it just something like you've been playing since you were little? And so when did you realize it was something you wanted to or something you thought you'd be able to do professionally?
I It's something I was definitely born into. Both my brothers played, um, and they were training me to be a soccer player before I was a year old. Like it was something I didn't have a choice in really. Um, so it's been something I've done for a long time, um, and I've always loved and enjoyed it.
I'm actively indoctrinating my all my nephews, so I'm very much in the same camp. When did this when did soccer become a little bit more than a game for you? When did you think maybe it was something that you were wanting to kind of maybe go professional in or at least play competitive in the collegiate ranks?
I've wanted to be a professional soccer player since I started playing soccer. Um, some kids want to be astronauts and doctors. That's never crossed my mind once. Ever since I was little and started kicking a ball, that's what I wanted to do.
Didn't
Do you
deviate,
have a
love it.
favorite player growing up?
Ronaldinho,
Oh,
just the way he played and the skill that he was able to possess is unbelievable.
Yeah, watching those old highlights never get old. It's
No,
very
it make you
special.
happy.
Now, I do want to talk a little bit about your Louisville City experience, I guess, kind of prior to signing your contract. First off, do you remember the first Louisville City match you attended as a fan?
Oh man, my one of my brothers was a season ticket holder from the first year. I think for like the first 3 or 4 years. So attended a lot of matches at Louisville Slugger, or Slugger Stadium, but I couldn't tell you the first one. But there were many trips there.
Okay, so you were a regular, wasn't just like the periodic appearance.
No, like many times over the seasons.
That's so cool. That's something that's never going to get old when we when there's guys on the squad who were fans previous to. Big
Right.
fan of that one. Now, you did train with the team for a while before you got your first contract. Um, what was that like? Like, not only in terms of like actually playing with these guys on the pitch and being able to compare yourself, but like mentally, right? Like, did you? I mean, was there like, did you have any sort of like creeping doubt if the opportunity come from it? Were you just kind of using it as an opportunity to stay in shape, or kind of where was your head at there?
I think it was all the above. I mean, um, you do everything you can to get chances and opportunities, and
Hmm.
I was fortunate enough to get this opportunity to train with them, and my entire time through it, I wanted to learn and get better and grow as a player and a person.
Hmm.
Um, and in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, okay, I can get a contract here. I can get a contract here. So you just keep pushing to be better and better every day to try to get to that.
Now, were you getting a lot of good feedback from the team
Yeah, I
as you're going
mean,
through it?
I had an unbelievable experience both summers with the team and the guys here.
It's good to know. I didn't know. I'm glad to know that that guys like yourself who weren't like signed with the team were getting treated fairly and getting some good
100%.
feedback. I think that's really cool. Um, I mean, were you ever like nervous when you're out there? You're playing with these guys that you've seen probably a number of them, play on the
Um,
pitch before, or did you kind of just walk out there confident as all be?
it's a little bit of both. It's you get your butterflies that okay, like I'm out here with these guys I used to watch, but it's something I felt I was ready for, and um, along with the butterflies, it comes with excitement. So that's more of what it was.
So tell us a little bit about um your first home game where you checked in this season. Had you I mean in college or anything, is it safe to say is that the most people you played in front of in a
Without a
stadium?
doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So
By
what was
quite a
that
few
like?
thousand.
How long did it take to like settle into the game and sort of ignore the crowd?
It pre-match, it was definitely something you notice and look around and see, but um I feel like I do pretty well of being able to block it out. And I felt like once the whistle blew, like I know it's go time and it's all focused on the match. Except during the goals. That's a pretty cool time to look around and
Suddenly the crowd's there again.
Yeah.
yeah.
Score.
Now, I'm glad you brought up goals because your first one on national TV, not a bad time to get that one. Can you kind of talk us through what you were feeling on? I know we kind of already touched on that one, but this one's got to be very unique and for multiple reasons.
Well, I mean, it's a great feeling to A score my first professional goal and B do it in front of the home fans. I mean, it's something it's not easy to score goals as an individual or as a team. So that like we said earlier, that feeling never gets old.
It's got to be insane. Like what a perfect way to do it. Full
Yeah.
house, national TV. The weather was beautiful. Like it was a hell of a match all around. Like very special.
I want
And
to give you props. So we're big on celebrations here on the podcast. We always like to hound on everybody. So you
I
went
wasn't gonna bring it up.
you full committed to the knee slide on that and the knee
100%.
caught. And I want to compliment you. I thought you played it off real nice.
The
You rolled
the
out of
roll
it, got
saved me.
straight to your feet.
The roll saved me for sure. I was a little scared it was going to become one of those like memes on like 433 or like the soccer pages. Luckily, it did not. But yeah,
no,
Yeah, I
no,
know. Let's
I think there's
I,
no
I
shame in that. That was pure excitement. You just love when there's just pure, unfiltered like emotion coming out there.
right. But I did not go for it against Orange County. I was going to play that one a
learned
little
lesson.
safer. But if you notice, I would like to bring it up. Wilson's goal right before that, he did a knee slide in the opposite corner, and I slid after him. It was a great knee slide. It just the second time didn't do it.
Hear that, ladies and gentlemen? He can nail a knee slide when he wants to. Chose not to the first time.
I've always been pretty amazed by the knee slide. I know. I mean, the field is very, very nice that you guys play on, so it's much different than like the crummy fields we're playing on. But that has always looked like it would hurt so much. That field has to be in like perfect shape for that not to just tear your knees off.
Yeah, I also wear my socks above my knees, so I have a little
That
bit of
helps.
protection to go into it.
Zach, have you seen how much this man runs? A little bit of a knee scrape is the least of his worries. That's not what he's going to be feeling later. Now, Jansen, this isn't a question, this is an ask, but we need you to talk to your teammates and have them step up their celebration game. You guys are getting great numbers, you're getting wins, but we need more memorable moments, more things we can turn into gifts and whatnot. So
We'll get on the drawing board for that.
yeah, pin Wilson and Ray down and say, look, guys, we need you to take it to the next level. We need some
I'm
special
happy
stuff
you
out
guys
there.
are scoring, but we got other things to work on.
Like I think we gotta focus
always
on
be
what's
better.
important. We gotta cut a practice early and just focus on the celebrations.
I'm sure it's not what Coach Cruz wants you focusing on, but dedicate a little bit of brain power to it for us fans. Oh man. And you were the lucky one who adopted Twix. Now,
Yes,
now you were telling me earlier that you renamed Twix. What is Twix's name now?
it is now Koda.
Koda.
We
And how is
changed
Koda
it.
doing?
Koda's doing great. Actually, Koda, come here. Come here.
YouTube
Ooh.
exclusive, guys. He's calling the dog over. Ooh,
Hey,
you're sweet.
welcome on the pod, Koda.
Say
So
hi,
sweet.
Koda.
Oh,
Now, was it difficult negotiations with the fiance, or was she like on the same page with you? Like, yeah, we have to have this dog,
It was a little bit of a difficult negotiation,
but you obviously won.
but talked her into coming and meeting Koda, and
Oh, that's
she
smart.
fell in love with her just like I did.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy. Very, very sweet dog. Glad she's doing well. She grown like a weed.
Honestly, not as much as I thought she was going to, but she's definitely growing.
Yeah. She's gonna be a big dog. Or bigger than what I have at least. I got a little beagle.
Yeah, she's we were told she's a German Shepherd Husky mix.
Whoa,
So
that's gonna be a big
she'll
dog.
be a decent size.
Now, one thing that might be fun for you to eventually do is I did one of those like doggy DNA kit things from like Amazon, like 50,
Okay.
60 bucks. We did it with my wife's family dog. And I gotta say, like, it feels like it was really accurate in terms of like the only thing you gave them, like information wise, besides the sample, was like the weight of the dog
Okay.
and the like what it came back with. Like it felt very spot on. So
Might have
if
to
you
give that
ever
a
want
go.
to, yeah, if you ever want the gift of information, you could
Do you have to
get
wait
that
till
and
they're
check it out.
fully grown, I'm assuming?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. You might want to read the details on it, but point is, I felt it was like a worthwhile investment.
Okay.
It was hard getting a sample from the little dog. She got very very toothy with me. All right. Zach, did you have any other pressing questions, or did you want to get to the lightning round?
We'll do lightning round. I'm ready for lightning round.
All right, Jansen, we're gonna hit you with some very random, quick questions. You ready for this?
Okay. I'm ready.
Start us off,
Do I
Zach.
have to answer them as quickly as you ask them?
That's
Quick
what
as you
that's
can.
what everyone did. The rules are loose around here.
We play it very loose with the rules.
Okay.
All right, favorite food.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Ooh.
Go-to song in the locker room that you'll play.
In the locker room. I'm not really
Okay, it could be in the heads. Okay, in the headset.
You're forced to pick one song. What are you picking?
Zach's is more fun.
we'll go with one of the Jack Harlow songs.
It's a good choice. It's local.
There's a couple of them that go on.
Would you rather play in 0-degree cold or 100-degree heat?
0.
Nice.
Old guy. Favorite junk food?
Oreos.
There you go.
Childhood nickname.
J-Dub.
This is one of my favorites. Hidden talent. Or just a fun fact in general that the people don't know.
Trying to think of a hidden talent. Basketball, maybe.
Oh.
I'm not.
I was actually gonna
trust me. I'm not like a college basketball player. But
Well, I was kind of curious. Something we didn't get to earlier. So, did you only play soccer growing up, or did you play any other sports? Were you
I
sort of an all-around guy?
soccer. I played soccer, baseball, and basketball.
Oh yeah.
What'd you play in baseball?
I was a pitcher.
Oh, okay. Any lingering arm damage from that?
No, I
That's a
stopped
real thing.
after my 7th or 8th grade year, so
Yeah,
didn't get too far into it to where I had to
yeah.
had some injuries.
I mean, pitcher's a very fascinating position, but man, like it's a lot of work on one part of the body.
It is very physically demanding.
It's hard too. It definitely takes talent.
All right, you find a spider in the house. You squash it or you take it outside.
Squashing it. Hate spiders.
I'm with you, man. I'm
Oh
with you.
man.
I get it. All right. Well, Jansen, I think that's about all we got for you. We really appreciate you coming on, taking the time to share a little bit about us, talk through things. It's been a lot of fun. Your season's been really special and a lot of fun to
Thank you.
watch.
Thank you.
One of probably my favorite like kind of storyline of it. Like, we didn't know who you were before. A lot of some of these other guys, like you've seen them at other clubs or whatnot, kind of have an idea what you're getting. We didn't know here, and you've been a pleasant surprise. So
Well, thank
keep
you.
up the awesome work.
Yeah,
I
best of
appreciate
luck
it.
with the
Thank you
rest
all.
of the season.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, you take care, Jansen.
All right, you too.
Bye.
See you at the matches.
See you
See ya.
guys.
Bye.
Well, that was pretty
He's
awesome.
yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. Like it's like again, I can't get over his work rate. The position that he occupies obviously demands a lot from
Well,
it, but you
and
feel like he could go all day.
I mean, I think it's huge. The team is deep at outside back or wing, whatever you want to call it, this season. So for him to come in and be starting regularly with all the competition at that spot, it means a lot. I mean, I think that shows the confidence that the coaching staff has in him,
Mhm.
and I think it shows like he's got to be practicing hard to be earning that spot
Yeah.
consistently.
I feel like he's got to have some sort of different level of hunger, right? Some of these other guys like have been on other USL teams and maybe I don't say entitled or whatnot, but maybe it's more so on the other end of like proving oneself. I don't know, but his drive and pretty much in all regards, I mean, he's definitely earned it, and he's been really cool story to watch. So I really hope he continues to crush it, get some more goals.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep a close eye on his goal celebration next
Boy,
time.
also you guys gotta check out the YouTube if you're listening to this on the pod, because his face when he realized that I was gonna mention the knee slide was absolutely priceless.
Yeah, if you don't watch back for the dog, do it for that
Oh,
way.
and we got to meet the dog. So yeah, we got a lot of good video content this
Very,
week.
very sweet dog. So
All right, do you want to get to the less fun game?
not really, but we will.
Hey, we gotta take our medicine. Although weirdly, man, I did the numbers digging again. The This is probably the best I've ever felt about a racing team numbers wise, which is not a
Mm,
hype mark, but
I
let's get
mean,
into it. Let's
it's
rip the
it's
band-aid.
probably that, and I texted you during it, but like at least for they did pick it up in the second half, but the first half, man, like they just were bad.
I,
I mean,
yeah,
like our is it like near the bottom of the table, like they looked like that's where they belong. Like it was frustrating in a number of regards. They were bad passes, like they were just giving up in our half just because of too light of a touch. Katie Lund
yeah.
was doing some weird things. She's clearly off her game. The block
Although
PK sucks.
so I missed this one live. This was I was at the bowling alley while all this game was going on. Uh so I had like a bit of a different reaction because I got to go back and visit
Probably a more rational one.
more rational. So like I got to actually see all the stats before I watched the game. So it was, they got a penalty kick. So I think you got to subtract a little bit from their expected goals
Yeah.
because a big chunk is from that. But it's like 1.7 to 0.85 according to Opta. So and watching those Washington goals, I mean, I think you mentioned the team was not playing well. The passing, those Washington goals were weird and soft. I think they got incredibly unlucky with the goals that Washington was able to score there.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even just about the goals they can see. Like offensively, there
Yeah.
was just not much happening. Like
Uh,
that, like in terms of like XG, that PK was most of it.
no, it was less than half of it. So the PK was about 0.7.
Oh, did I have
so
him inverted?
they would have still been leading in expected goals even without the PK. They were the
Okay.
ones with 1.7. And
Man, that would have guessed
also,
lower.
we're big fans of the SofaScore game flow. I mean, so
Yeah,
I
I
will
like that.
mention this probably is what left the impression in your mouth. So for the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes, it's all Washington. And then basically it's all racing on that for the rest of the game after that.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like they did a lot with it, even if they were like kind of in possession. I don't know. Like it,
Yeah.
I mean, Washington had the luxury of being a little bit more hands off and just kind of absorbing what's coming to them. Racing
Yeah.
didn't. Racing is at home. They went down like what they got scored in what was it 3 minutes?
Yeah, but again, like that's where I was getting into. I think that was just a weird wonky result because they
I mean, how
scored
often
on
can
like
we
a
continue to
shot
do that for this
from the
team
top of
though?
the box on the ground on a penalty kick, which is you just don't score. That's not like a high quality chance. That went through like 12 legs to get to the back of the goal
I
and
know,
hit one of them.
but at a certain point, when do I look at this team and saying, okay, they're not going to be that bar raiser that I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be the one to kind of
So
break this hurdle for racing. And like, yeah, maybe they're statistically like improving, but like it's not what I thought at least.
well, let's run through it real quick because we haven't actually mentioned.
Yeah, maybe I'm
So
just going through a crisis and you can talk me down.
I pulled all the expected goal stuff for the league. So as of right now, Louisville is Racing is third in expected goal differential. They're actually um, because they had that one giant blowout win and a bunch of draws. They're actually sitting really good in actual goal differential too. Um, they are fourth in expected goals for and third in expected goals against. So the defense has been a little better than the offense. They're fifth in actual goal differential, so real goals scored. They're seventh in goals, which I think that's where it's lagging. But they're third in goals against. So I think that the defense has been about what it was expected to be, and it's they're just trailing a little bit behind in goals scored versus expected goals. But not a ton, just a bit. They're in the playoffs in all of those metrics. Like every single one, they're seventh or higher. What my note I had is this is the first time I have felt with Racing that like the bones of a good team are there. It's sort of like they've scrapped and they've had games where they like gritted wins out in previous seasons, but it felt like in all of the previous seasons, really they needed a bit of luck on their side to get results. They whereas it's not all come together other than the one blowout game against the worst team in the league. It's not come together yet this season, but I actually see what the good version of this team looks like. Like it's not like they got to reinvent the wheel thing. Like they just gotta. It's the little things. They just got to get a couple results. It's not the big things this time, which is a much better place to be than in years past.
Yeah, that all that does make me feel better and talks me off the ledge a bit. I guess part of my frustration stems from I feel like this team really needs to start to put together something positive to latch onto. And a loss at home, like when like the pressure feels mounting to get something good going, feels really bad. But all the points he made make sense. Like the bones are there. Like statistically,
soccer's
they're
a weird
still in a good
game,
spot.
but I feel like in a fair universe that was a 2-1 win.
That feels like a stretch. But your overall point about like the team being better off, like it does make me feel better. And I think this is kind of a frustrating thing is that like it's not like you think the team's like tactically off or they're doing just wild things. It's like you said, these little moments that are making the difference.
And
right?
we should mention the last two games, like they're the disappointing ones. They're like what have us down in the dumps. Both of the teams they played in the last two games were first in the league after the game was over.
Yeah.
So it
That's fair.
was two very high quality opponents that they played these last two against.
Yeah. Yeah, you've made me feel better. I still just
like I
don't
said,
love what I'm feeling about the team right now. I
it feels like like when racing has been doing good, I feel like I've always had to be the downer and be like, man, I think they're kind of getting lucky with some of these results and they're not actually that good. And it's finally nice to be in the opposite position with racing where they're not getting the results, but I'm looking at it and like, man, I think they stay the course. Like these turn into wins eventually.
I usually try to stay positive, but something about that last one particularly broke me. Man,
I haven't actually checked. I mean,
Washington is a good team, so like
look, Washington's great, Orlando is great, and I think a big takeaway is like they probably made Orlando look the worst in attack that they have all season. Like Orlando got the victory there, but Orlando has been just like crushing teams offensively. So I thought that was a really good defensive performance against Orlando. It's just well, in this one, it's like to lose. I mean, you lose because of a lot of things, but to lose because of a missed DeMello penalty kick, it's like that's you're gonna win that more than not. Well, not only did the kick was saved, but they got a putback, and the putback was saved. Just like an incredible goalkeeping sequence. I think
demoralizing sequence.
Penalty was not that great. She didn't have to make a great save on that first one, but yeah, the putback was an incredible save.
Yeah, I'm glad she scored in that one because I'm like, man, getting your PK block that would have felt real bad. But when you score, you kind of forget about it.
I mean, you mentioned chances. Scored and had a free kick hit the post. So
yeah, true.
I mean, she put in two really good free kicks.
Okay.
Scored one of them. I think I don't know. I think the pieces are there. I have been surprised. The rookies in the attack have played much better than I was expecting, and I think that adds a dimension to the team that I was worried was going to be missing. And I think
totally
I would expect like Turner and Sears will just continue to play better as the season goes. So I'm not hitting the panic button. I feel okay right now. I want some wins. I think I also saw they've actually not had a ton of home losses lately. That was their Jeff's gonna be mad because I don't have his notes. I think that was only like their third home loss in like 17 or something. It was I don't know. We'll see. They have another tough game next though.
Yeah. You successfully pulled my hand away from the panic button, but like I want to inch it back there. But I feel better. That helps.
Yeah. I will say we might have to give it another week though, because on the road at Kansas City is not gonna be an easy get your groove back game.
Yeah, I mean being away helps.
I mean it's huge if they win, but that's another. It's a pretty brutal 3-game stretch they've had.
Yeah, Still, we still got a lot of soccer to play, so I need to keep that in mind. So, all right, well, we will see what happens with that one. Zach, before we close this thing up, did you have any other lingering thoughts that you want to share with the people?
I promise I won't do date night on game nights again. Sorry that I jinxed the game by having fun, or jinxed the team by having fun bowling.
Yeah, tell Lori no more celebrating your guys' milestones. Zach's got to be there.
But no, I mean, Louisville City's riding high right now. It's been a couple disappointing results for racing, but I feel pretty good about the team this season. I think we're going to be getting a lot of postseason games this year between the two teams. I think we're going to be feeling good coming into the season.
I like it, and I hope that's what happens. So, all right, well,
trust the nerd numbers.
Good nerd numbers. Number goes up. Number's good. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for tuning in to the podcast. Please watch and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week where hopefully we're talking about a couple wins, right? Right?
let's
If
do
I'm
it.
not mistaken, Little City has Detroit, so that'll be a big one.
Oh, it's always fun to
Am I
beat
correct on that one? Second guessing myself now, so we're gonna check real quick. Vegas. Oh, excuse me. I'm
Vegas.
I'm calling that game and I couldn't remember. Vegas. Yes. Vegas. Vegas away. It's a late one. Get the coffee ready. Batista's lights. We'll see how they do. Anyway, catch you guys next week. Vamos Morados.
Bye, y'all.